Hello and welcome to chapter 9 of our web development class. In chapter 9 we are going to talk about Flash, how to add Flash documents, video and then audio. First of all, we are going to explain what Flash is, what constitutes Flash, how to add it, video, how to add video and audio, which is the best way to add videos to on your web page, the best way to add audio on your web page, and then the best way to add Flash documents or Flash files on your web page. First of all, when we say Flash, it is a technology that is used in adding video, animation, or audios to website. Okay, we are going to look, like I said in this chapter, on how to use them on the web pages. Since the late 1990s, Flash has been very popular for creating animations, but later it was also used in playing videos and then audios in websites with the use of a plugin. When you are creating an animation or you are trying to play video or audio, the files you put on your website are referred to as Flash movies. Okay, they are Flash movies. If you want to create your own Flash movie, you need to purchase a Flash authoring environment from Adobe. It's an Adobe product that you need to get. It's not free, so that you can develop your own Adobe movies. However, several companies offer Flash animations and slideshow. Okay, now when you create a Flash file in the Flash authoring environment you purchase from Adobe, it will be saved with an extension of .fla, okay, which represents the file extension format for Flash files. Okay, but you cannot just use it straightforward on your web page, and then before you put it on your web page, okay, it has to be saved after you have created it to a different format, which is the SWF format. To view Flash, browsers need to install a plugin. Like I mentioned, a plugin is just like a software that runs in your browser. It is common knowledge that 98% of browsers on desktop computers have the Flash plugin installed, unlike in mobiles and in tablets. Flash is still very, very popular, but people are now trying to be more selective because of the advancement in technology. But when HTML5 for example came, it came with some elements that helps in adding video and audio, unlike previously when people have to rely on the Flash technology. Now there are elements and some tags that are used in playing video and audio, or in adding video and audio without necessarily using Flash, even though Flash is still popular. Okay, the best way of adding Flash, okay, onto your web page is by using JavaScript, which we are going to talk about later after we are done with this particular course. Okay, we are going to delve into JavaScript jQuery and explain it into detail, so I wouldn't talk much on how to add Flash using JavaScript because we are trying to limit ourselves to HTML and CSS for now. Browsers also are able to render the HTML tags that are able to add video, so it's kind of making the previous version of HTML and then also the Flash technology obsolete. There are two main ways of adding video. One is to use a hosted video service, and the other is to host it locally, to have the videos locally on your devices. Now let's talk about the hosted video service. One advantage it has is that you don't necessarily have to own or pay a hosting service for all your videos. What you have to do is to visit the website that is hosted externally and copy the embedded video, okay, or copy the link to that video and then embed it onto your web page. Another advantage is that a hosted video site like YouTube or Vimeo provides players that work with the majority of web browsers, so you save yourself the struggle of also getting a plugin or a flash player that works for most browsers. When you are using a video hosted service, most of the video sites have the players already. You do not also need to worry your head over encoding your video, okay, into a different format or converting it from one particular format to the other format, okay. Once you upload it, they automatically convert your video into various formats required for different browsers. Other advantage is that hosting companies, okay, often charge extra if you use a lot of bandwidth, okay, and video files can be quite large. Video file capacity is higher than picture or any text document. So when you are paying for your own hosting, you tend to pay a lot, okay. So it is an advantage for you when you are using a hosted video service, okay. When you are doing that, you do not pay for the bandwidth, you do not pay for hosting of the video, because those websites have already paid those particular hosting charges. Now let's talk about adding video to your pages, okay. The HTML5 helps us to add video to our pages. We are going to demonstrate it, okay. Before we explain the code we are going to use, just like when you are adding an image, we bring the image element, which is an empty element, like I said, which means it doesn't have a closing tag. The video element is not an empty element. The video element has some attributes, okay, and I want to go through every attribute. Most of them can be found in the audio as well. One of them is the src, or the source. This particular attribute, okay, will have to specify where to get the video, where you want the web page to source the video from, okay. So you make sure that the value of this particular attribute that is going to be in the quotation marks is the far part where this video can be found, whether externally or locally. You are supposed to indicate it in the src attribute. Also, poster. The poster attribute allows you to specify an image to show while the video is downloading or until the user tells the video to play, okay. Something like an image that displays as at when the page is loading for you to play your video, or your video to be played automatically. It also contains the video elements can also have an attribute of width and height, just like we have in images. This shows the specific size of the player in pixels. It shows you whether rectangular or you want it in a square, how many amount of height in pixels, how many amount of width in pixels. There's also the preload attribute. The preload attribute tells the browser what to do when the page loads, okay. It also has some child attribute inside that attribute of preload. When you indicate the preload and you give it a value of none, okay, the browser should not load the video until the user presses play. So it comes with the player and indicates all the playback buttons. What I want to play, stop, pause, anything you want to do. If you do it auto, that means that the video should automatically what load. It should automatically play once since if the browser refreshes. Okay, and metadata also allows the browser, you are telling the browser not to collect information such as the size, first frame, track, list, etc. That is what, those are the attributes that you can find in the video element. You can also find controls. When used, this attribute indicate that the browser should supply its own controls for playback. Autoplay, when used, this attribute specify that the file should play automatically. Okay, unlike the preload, tells the browser what to do when the page loads. Okay, and then we explain that the auto value that preload has is to tell the you should let the browser, it allows the browser to download the video when the page loads. Okay, it's different from the autoplay. The autoplay goes into the control which plays the video automatically. And loop, you know, loop simply means something should occur over and over and over again until something else happen. Now let's go to audio. Adding audio to web pages. By far the most popular format for putting audio on web page is MP3. MP3 is the best format in which one can send an audio file in. As in video, there are 3 routes commonly taken. 1. The audio also has an element called audio, which is supported by HTML5. It has an attribute of source, src. The source specifies the part of the audio file. It has control, just like in video. The control also button show. Okay, if you do not use the attribute, no control button will be shown. Okay, most of the time too, it is added using JavaScript. We don't want to dwell much on that. Autoplay is also one of the attributes of audio. Okay, it indicates that the audio should start playing automatically. The preload indicates what the browser should do if the player is set to autoplay. Okay, we explained that in the video. Preload will also have some other values of either none, auto, metadata, and the rest. And loop is also found on audio. This attribute specifies the audio track should play once it is finished. Let's go into our text editor, add a video. Okay, and then you are going to see all those attributes in action, and then also add an audio. So without wasting much time, let's go into our text editor. Before we can add video, like I said, we want everything to be organized. Just like we created a folder for images, I would like us to create another folder for video, and then for audio we can create the folder here, or we can use the main folder here on the desktop. So you can double click, you see the images folder. We can create the folder here. Okay, or we can do it using our text editor. So in this case, let's use a text editor. One more a folder called videos. Okay, so that we can easily call for our videos to be displayed. Let me create one more and say audio. So I'll add 1 or 2 videos and 1 or 2 audio. I don't know whether I will even find audio on my device, and try to display or show how it is being added. Now I have added 2 files each in the video folder and then the audio folder. Now this is the code I've posted. This is the source. Okay, this is indicating the file path where the file can be found. So the file can be found in a folder called videos. As you can see here, videos. Within the video, there's a file called difficulty memorizing the Quran, which can be seen here. So this becomes the part. The poster, I said the poster is the image that will be shown while the video is reloading. Okay, so it will show one of the images I have, which is the course video. It's not related to this video, by the way, so it's just for demonstration purposes. The width is 400 pixels, the height is 300 pixels. I indicate the preload. I didn't put any of the values of preload. I also want control. Okay, I also want control. All these ones are attributes found, and then in the video element, they are all placed in the opening tag, and there's a paragraph here, and then it ends with the closing tag of the video element. Let me save file, save. Let me check my browser. Okay, now you can see this is exactly what I want to do. This is the image we use in the images folder, as you can find it here. That's the poster. Okay, the poster is this image you see, and these are the controls. Okay, as you see it at the bottom, and then the preload. So let me just play and see if my video will actually play. Okay, so it's playing. Okay, so you have these control buttons. I can pause. Okay, continue playing. I can forward it. I can also use the volume controls. Okay, so that is exactly what I was explaining in the code. Alright, so let me pause my video. Okay, alright, so as you can see, the width and then the height, as we have explained. Let me show you how to add audio to the web page. So this is our video. So we go to our text editor. This is an audio file in MP3 format. So the audio, you open the opening, and that's the closing, and this is the source. The source shows the file part of the audio file, so it can be found in a folder called audio, and then also the file name followed by .mp3, and I brought the controls and not to play. So let me just save it. Okay, and then refresh the browser. Alright, so I can see my audio. Let me play and see. Okay, so it's working. You can see the controls. I can reduce the volume and mute it. I can increase it. I can pause. Okay, alright, so this brings us to the end of this chapter, and then the end of HTML. Our chapter 10 will be the introduction to CSS, what CSS does, what it is used for, and the best practices in using CSS. Thank you for being part of this journey from chapter 1, which is the introduction, right up to chapter 9. Okay, thank you, and then see you in our next lesson.